back to my channel. So I've got Ibby here with me today.
Hi.
Just a simple hi. Anyway, we're in a different setting, a different background today because this video is a bit well, not really spontaneous, but I had a different plan for this video. But we just thought, okay, we're just gonna come out and do this anyway, the way it is. So yeah, you've probably seen from the title, we're going to be discussing personal statement. So both Ibby and I will just be bouncing off ideas about how to write your personal statement, what to do and what not to do, kind of thing, really. So I think I'll start off with the very first thing: do not lie in your personal statement, guys. Please don't lie. Like, I know like you want to come off as a certain person and you want to show certain skills and qualities, but it's not worth it, in the sense that if you get to your interview and they ask you a question and you can't answer it, they can catch you out, guys. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't lie. Just don't lie
at all.
Don't lie.
Because then you just slip up. You don't know what you said when.
Exactly. And obviously it's a good idea to read your personal statement before you go to your interview, just to refresh yourself. But at the same time, don't lie.
I would say a big thing for me is layout. So it's important that you know how to kind of structure your personal statement.
True.
I mean, you can take it too far, but I guess we'll discuss that later. But like, if everything's confusing, like if you read a crime story and then you've been told the murderer before you've actually read the crime, it's a bit.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
You're not motivated to read it.
Yeah, it's just too messy, and so then the person reading your statement will be like, oh, this is too much hard work, and then just put it to the side.
Although they wouldn't do that, but you have to think of it in the case, like, sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay.
They have so many students that they're reading personal statement, and to some extent, personal statement can be very similar because you're all trying to fight for the same thing. So if yours stands out in the wrong way as to the structure just all over the place, then boy, you do stand out.
Yeah.
So just be careful about that.
Yeah.
But also, on the other hand, don't delay starting your personal statement just because you want to get the structure right. Just start, type whatever it is.
Yeah.
Later on, you can then sort out the structure and sort out whatever you want to sort. But literally, just type it. Just type whatever comes to mind, even if it's over that 4,000 characters. Is it 4,000 characters?
Yeah.
Or 400 characters?
4,000 characters.
4,000 characters.
Yeah. Or though, what works for me is I need my structure first. So that winging it is not working for me. So what I kind of was like, okay, introduction. Then in this paragraph I want to talk about my job. In this paragraph I want to talk about work experience. And then so on and so forth. And then so I knew what I was talking at each point. So it helped me know exactly what I wanted to include.
Yeah.
And stop me from rambling, because I can talk a lot if I don't know what I'm talking about.
True.
And but then it also made each paragraph concise, so you had clear-cut sections, so it makes it easier for the reader, so they know that this is this is the aim of that paragraph.
Of that paragraph.
But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and I guess it could be different as well, because bear in mind that you're graduates, so you're probably talking about job that you've done outside of your when you finished your first degree and things like that. You're talking about your first degree as well and how that applies. And then, but you guys are school leavers, you'll be talking about A levels and why you want to go into uni in the first place, because she's been to uni, I've been to uni. So it's a different kind of setting, a different standard. But honestly, just start it, because rather it just delays you. Another thing I was going to say, so which connects to it, is when you do finish writing your personal statement, be open to feedback in the terms of definitely get like someone medical to check it, and also get someone like an English teacher or something to check it for like grammar errors and things. As much as being open to feedback, be very selective in how much feedback you take, because you're opening your personal statement to different people. Everyone's going to have different opinions. Everyone's going to have different things to say about it. But what one person likes about your personal statement, another person might not necessarily like. So you taking in all this feedback can make your personal statement very general, and you want it to remain personal to you. So therefore, be selective as to what thing you take. If this person says, "Oh, change this letter, change this," just be selective and still. And I think you were mentioning something about if you're using certain words to sound, to sound more professional. You're not a medical student. Do you get what I mean? You're coming here because you want to learn. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Like, they can just read it and be like, this. And people will be buying, like, how they buy essays and stuff. I don't know if they can buy personal statement, but if it will start sounding like something that someone has typed for you or done for you, and it's not really your personal statement,
it's someone else's.
It's someone else's.
I think personally, I think the simple the better, and I think that will help when you get like an English teacher or someone else who isn't maybe from the science background to read it, because you want them to understand it at the same time. Personally, I feel that use big words, throw some in there, so that you can use, you've got a good vocabulary, but at the same time sometimes you get hung up on trying to show that you're smart. At the end of the day, you forget the point you're trying to make, and then the person reading it doesn't even know what you're trying to say, and it just takes too much of a long time. So personally, I feel like the simpler you can put it, the better. The better.
Just coming across as, just tell them what you're trying to say. Don't waffle about it. Don't move about. And I think you were saying something yesterday about if you make a point, don't just make a point. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because you know, like how everyone will be like, oh, I want to be a doctor because I want to help people.
Which is good.
Which is good. Obviously, we all want to help people. Yeah. But then sometimes we forget to, like, that's what everyone else says. So why? Why do you personally want to help? Yeah, like really kind of understand why, and then try and put that down on paper. And I think that will really make you stand out. But with each point you make, like even if you've said you've gone to work experience, you've got good communication skills, then kind of demonstrate that. Explain, don't just state something, but then back it up with evidence. So I have good communication skills as shown when I went to work experience, and I was able to converse with a patient and really understand why they came in, etc, etc, etc. It needs to be like warm. I don't know how you can, as in, you know, there's some like, you know, like a scientific report.
Oh yeah, obviously it comes up a
yeah, like in your face. Like,
do you mean like it comes across as person? I don't know how to explain it.
Like just let it reflect you. True. At the end of the day, it's a reflection of who you are. Look, this is who I am. So try and put in your kind of personality into it. If you're easygoing, if you're laid back, kind of like that show in your writing. It's kind of hard for us to say that and not give you like tips, but as you're writing it, just kind of write as if you're talking to a friend. So if I was writing my personal statement now, maybe I'd write as if I'm talking to Bernie. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be too hung up with the fact that, oh my god, it's a personal statement, they're going to read it, that this could be the difference between an interview and not getting an interview. Try and make it as a good representation of you as possible. That's what I would say.
And I think that's very important in like universities that don't do interviews as well, because that interviews are your opportunity to come and show yourself and to prove what you said in your personal statement, or to prove that you are what you said you are. So if there isn't an opportunity for an interview, therefore you have to come across in that personal statement and tell them like who you are, show who you are, rather than just telling them all those different qualities and things. And I think that probably brings us to what we're saying about like the qualities. As much as you want it to be personal about yourself, there are definite things you want to include in your personal statement. So definite qualities and skills. So the biggest one is teamwork. Like you, regardless of what you want to do, whatever it is, teamwork is one of the most like important things in any professional life. Like you have to include something teamwork, and then just say, yes, I'm a good team player, I'm a good team leader. When were you a good team player? What did you do? How were you able to lead the group? How were you able to contribute to the group? So don't just, like she said, don't just include things. Include an example, what you did, how you did it, and how you were able to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think also, like I said before, I didn't really have that much medical experience, but don't be afraid to kind of throw in other things. I'm coming from a graduate point of view, but then I was from a clinical trial. I had a clinical trial job, so you know there was like procedures in place that we had to religiously follow. You'd be following loads of procedures in medical school, when you become a doctor, well, medical school as well. So there's little things here and there that you can throw up. So don't be too hung up on the fact that, oh, you might not have ward experience or hospital experience or whatever experience. That there's loads of transferable skills that you can talk about. So it's not just about being comfortable in a ward setting, because you'll get that when you come into medical school anyway. You know, you'll get. Okay, let me not say you'll get sick of it, but you know what? You'll become really familiar. It becomes every day. So it's the other things that you know that they can't teach you that you need to show that you have. So are you good at talking to people? Are you friendly? Are you approachable? Maybe you had a job that you were doing at the same time as studying. Throw that in there, because as a doctor you kind of have a good attention to detail. All of these little things do help and do add up, and I think sometimes that might give you an edge because everyone else is hung up on, oh well, I saw this, I saw that. Well, okay, it's good you saw that, but
you're still going to see it later.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say about, like, it's not what you've done, it's rather how you're able to apply what you've done.
Yeah.
So if you're unable to get work experience, because it can't be hard to get work experience, to be honest, because of the whole patient confidentiality thing. So it's what if you've worked in you've worked in a nursery, what skills have you got from working in nursery, so you're able to communicate, because obviously children are like a lot harder to not deal with, like communicate rather than your peer group or your teammates or whatever. So obviously that shows communication skills and different things, prioritizing task management and different things. So it's how you're able to apply what you've done rather than what what you've done.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if there was anything else.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's everything. But definitely check UCAS, please, because obviously
it probably has changed. But I think I'm almost so sure that's 4,000 characters.
Okay. Anyway, when you submit it, if it's
exactly your teachers will know.
Yeah,
anyway.
they will know.
Your tutors will know.
But good luck.
You're very terrible.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No, it's true. Good luck with writing.
Yes.
Relax, smile.
Have a cup of tea.
Have a cup of tea. Definitely. She's laughing at me, but tea is very anyway.
But I think that's everything from us, guys.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Bye.
Bye.